Hello and welcome to 410, our special today. We welcome you if you are regular to us or if you're a visitor joining us for the first time. What have we got coming up for you today? We've got some God songs, we've got a story, and we've got a craft. So grab yourself a coffee, get comfortable, and we will begin. But before you do that, I'm just going to pray. Father, thank you for giving us this time. Thank you that we can come together and share time together and expect to hear from you today. I'm also going to follow on with the Lord's Prayer, so please feel free to join in or you can just listen. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. you're working. You never stop working. You never stop, you never stop. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 That is waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 That is who you are.
Hello, and today I'm here to share with you a really lovely story. So this story involves two people, an older man called Eli, he heard from God a lot, and a young boy called Samuel, who was the son of Hannah. So Hannah didn't have any children and she prayed to God for a child. So God gave her a son, and then she decided to give him back to God. And Samuel grew up in a temple serving under Eli, who was the priest of this temple. Samuel didn't know God, and back in that day it was really rare to hear from him. So one night while Eli was asleep, Samuel hears someone call him. Samuel. Samuel went to Eli and said, "Here I am, you called me." Eli said, "I didn't call you, go back to sleep." So Samuel went back to bed and heard it again. Samuel. So for a second time, Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, "Here I am, you called me." Eli said, "I didn't call you, go back to sleep." So for a third time it happened. Samuel. Samuel got up once again and went to Eli, but this time Eli knew that God was trying to talk to Samuel. So he told Samuel, "If you hear it again, this is what you need to say. Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." So that's what Samuel did. He went back to bed and it happened again. Samuel, Samuel. Samuel said, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." So then God told Samuel lots of things of what was going to happen to Israel, which was a lot for him to take on. But Samuel grew up and in the end was an amazing prophet. Everybody in Israel knew that he was an amazing prophet, and it's all because he listened to God that time. Thank you.
So now we're going to start our cup and string craft to make some telephones. So all you'll need is 2 paper cups. They need to be paper so you can stab through them. You will need a length of string, and depending on how far away the person you're trying to call is, the more string you will need. So if you're aiming for Australia, you better spend a lot of money on yarn. And then you will need a pair of scissors. So first things first, you just want to flip your cups over so that the bottoms are facing up. And with your scissors, you're going to very carefully, and with adult supervision, if you were younger, you're going to stab a couple of holes into the bottom of your cups. Wow. Cool, really went for it there. So I'm going to need some big knots. Now you need to thread your yarn through the hole in your cup and catch it the other side, like so. And you can put it through a bit so it just makes it easier, but you just need to tie a knot in the end, or in my case, a few knots, just to make sure it doesn't poke back through that hole on the other side. I think one more and we'll be good. Okay, I'm going to be fancy and cut off the little end bit so it looks all neat. And then you can just pull it back through till it hits the hole. And now it shouldn't fall out because you've done those knots. So you're just going to do the same. You're now going to take the other side and you're going to do the same with the cup on the other side. And just put it through so you have a nice amount to knot. And pull it back through so that, again, did my knot nice and big so it doesn't come through. And then you have two cups that are, if we find the middle somewhere here, attached on either side. So they're all connected up and ready for you to call a friend. And I think I'm going to call a friend of mine now. She lives quite far away, so that's why I used quite a lot of yarn here. And we'll see if she picks up. I'll go drop off one end, you know, go back home, make sure the line's running, and we'll see if we can hear her.
Hello? Oh, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. I've just been hanging out with my plants. I've been growing lots of different types. I have some grumpy plants, like Chris the cactus. He's a bit prickly in the mornings.
Oh dear.
And I have some of my plants, like, you know, dressing up a bit more. They're a bit fancier, like Florence here. She has all the flowers on, you know. She takes forever in the morning, constantly making me late.
Lol, that's funny.
And then I like just hanging out with all my others. We have Angie Aloe, we got Bruce and Kevin and Doris and Gertie.
Wow, you have lots of friends.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
I've just finished my dinner. I had some pasta and now I'm spending time with Sprout.
Pasta. Yum. Your favourite. Aw, love you, Sprout. Hope he can hear me. It's been lovely catching up with you over the phone.
It has indeed. I may bin my iPhone now. I'll have to give you a call sometime.
Yeah, anytime. Bye.
Bye.
So our new series is called I'll Give You a Call, and it's talking about God calling us, and it's particularly focusing on the call of Isaiah. Isaiah had an amazing vision of what the church should be like. God's people, the gathering of God's people. It should be a place where people long to come and find community and come and find answers and come and find God, and a place that changes the world so that no one wants to fight or dispute anymore, but all live in harmony with each other and with their world. And so Isaiah has that vision, and then he looks about him and he looks at the church and he looks at the world, and he gets frustrated because he thinks it's nothing like my vision. And at that point he goes to church and he encounters God in a fresh way that changes him, and he knows that he is part of the answer to the difference between the vision of how the church and the world should be and how they really are, and that at that point God calls us to go and make a difference. And I remember the first time that I particularly experienced that power of God that Isaiah experienced in that temple time he had. And it was many, many years ago. We went to a Christian conference, and it was the last day of the conference, and we were sharing the bread and cup together, all different people from different backgrounds, different nationalities, different denominations, as one, wanting to remember Jesus dying on the cross for us. And at that point, a strange thing started to happen. Among the thousands of people, we began to hear shrieks and yells and crying out and pain and torment. And it was at first very frightening. And then someone got up at the front and said, please don't be scared, because all that's happening is that the evil spirits are having to go, because this place is so holy, they cannot stay here. And we've seen that a little bit recently in that amazing song called the UK Blessing, where all different churches in our land got together and sang that song of peace over our nation, and the power of that unity to change things, to bring change, is astonishing. And I remember that first experience I had in that Christian conference, and knowing that I would never be the same again. I would never be able to doubt again God's power for good, to make the world a better place, and somehow the need to find my part in making that happen. So I'll give you a call sometimes, says God. So how do we know when it's God calling us? Well, we need to get familiar with his voice. Like the child Samuel, when he first heard God speaking to him, he didn't know it was God. And then as time went on, he became very familiar with the sound of God's voice, and he knew when God was speaking to him. And we need to be able to do the same, because what God says may not be personal to us, it may not be politically correct, it may at times be quite revolutionary, but it's always the same call. It's always the same call that he gave to Isaiah. He said, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And it's that thing in between the vision of what the church and the world should be like and how it is. God calls us to go and make a difference. And remember, Jesus' last words to his friends before he went back to be at home with his Father were to go. I am sending you, go. But don't go on your own. Go in the power of the Holy Spirit. And once we've had that call and we know that it's from God, it will change everything. It will change how we spend our money. It will change how we spend our time. It will change the relationships that we choose to be part of, and it will change the jobs that we do, because the call of God changes everything. So the call comes to each of us, and it is in some senses unique, because it will be unique to our gifts and our talents, but it will also bind us to others that have that call, that want to share with us and share the journey with us. And we will find a community where we can express our call with others, and where everything that we have to contribute is celebrated by those around us. For Mick and I, it was really clear. We had a really clear vision years ago. It's a long time ago now, but it's still fresh and still informs everything that we do. Even though maybe over the years its expression has been slightly different, it's still the same vision. And it was during a difficult time in our lives. We were praying with a couple of friends, and God gave us this really clear picture. We found ourselves in a room. It was a lovely room. It was warm and sunny and full of people that we loved, and we were all very relaxed, and there were nice things happening there. But one side of this room was a plate glass window, and we gradually became aware that someone was knocking on the window outside. And we went over to look, and we realized that it was Jesus, and he was beckoning us to come where he was outside the room. And so we somehow went out, and we found ourselves in a very bleak landscape, a dark mountainside. It was cold and dark, and as we looked around the landscape, we were aware that there looked like bundles of rags all over it. And Jesus was clearly indicating that we needed to go to these bundles of rags. And as we went and we watched him at work, we realized that the rags weren't bundles of rags. There were people clinging on, desperately trying to stay alive in this terrible landscape. And as Jesus touched them, the light and the life went out from him and into them, and their lives were transformed. And then it became clear that Jesus was asking us to do the same, to go to reach people that were outside of that lovely warm room and offer them his light and his life. And so we've always known that that was our calling, to reach those who are maybe unable to come in, and to reach them with the love of God, and often to begin that journey with them, showing love in very practical ways. And that has been our call. God has given us a call. Every so often he refreshes it with us. And our prayer is that each and every one of us will hear that call to go and make a difference, to see the world as it really is, but also see it as God would love it to be, and to be part of his story of bringing that hope and that life and that love to those who at the moment are unable to find it for themselves. May God bless you as your ears get ready to hear that call of God on your life.
When my mind is like a battlefield and my heart is overcome by fear, and hope seems like a ship that's lost at sea, my enemies on every side, and I'm tempted to run and hide, your gentle whisper reaches out to me. Peace holds me when I'm broken, sweet peace that passes understanding. When the whole wide world is crashing down, I fall to my knees and breathe in your peace. Fiery arrows whistling, the terror of the night sets in, but I can feel your angels all around. I am resting underneath the shelter of your mighty wings. Your promises are where my hope is found. Peace holds me when I'm broken, sweet peace that passes understanding. When the whole wide world
bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Thank you all for joining us today. It's been really lovely having you join in with what we've been doing online. Please feel free to personal message us via our Facebook page, which is Storm Ministries, and send in any prayer requests that you've got. We'd really be happy to pray over you, over your requests that you send in. Join us next time. It'd be lovely to have you with us, and feel free to follow our pages on social media, Storm Ministries and Storm in the Community on YouTube. Take care. Bye.
Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won, for you have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence. You've never failed me yet. I know the night won't last, your word will come to pass. My heart will sing your praise again. Jesus, you're still enough. Keep me within your love. My heart will sing your praise again. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed me yet. Oh, you've never failed me yet. I never will forget how you